Alert scan result. Place the back of the phone. Simply NFC scan result. Scrubs the complete collection series 1 to 9 DVD, media cabinet, shelf 2.
Hello, in this video you'll learn how to create talking labels using NFC tags, as in the demonstration that you've just seen. First of all, we'll learn how to use Simply NFC, VoiceOver on the iPhone to read and write tags. Then I'll show you how to set up a Siri Shortcut to read tags. I'll show you an alternative to using VoiceOver using the speech screen selection tool. Then I'll explain a bit to you about what NFC tags are and how they work. And I'll show you some other uses for NFC tags. So first of all, here's what you'll need. You'll need an iPhone 6 or newer running iOS 13 or newer. You'll need Simply NFC, which is available from the App Store and is made by Lakeside Llama. There are two versions of Simply NFC. There's an ad-supported free version and there's a Pro version. The Pro version costs £2.99 and that's what I'm using today. You'll also need some NFC tags, and if you look on Amazon for NFC 215. So I've downloaded and installed Simply NFC from the App Store. So I'm going to double tap on the icon to launch it.
Simply NFC settings button.
And the settings button is already selected. Well, there's a few changes I want to make to the settings first. So I'm going to double tap to go into settings.
Setting. Simply NFC back button.
And then I'm going to swipe down until I hear start reading on app launch.
Setting. Process start reading on app launch. Switch button off. Toggle this to have the app start scanning for NFC tags on app open without needing to push the scan button. Double tap to toggle setting.
And I'm going to turn that on.
On.
And the next one I'm going to swipe down to is clear records on write.
Store using clear send clear records on write. Switch button off. Toggle this to determine if you wish to have the records that will be written to the tag be cleared after a successful write. This allows one to add new records easily for the next tag you wish to write. Double tap to toggle setting. On.
Now that I've done that, I'm going to go back up to the top left hand corner.
Simply NFC back button.
To the back button and double tap to go back to the main screen.
Simply settings button.
So now just to navigate the screen. In the top left hand corner we have the settings button. Then if I swipe once to the right.
Simply NFC heading.
I hit the app title. If I swipe again.
History button.
I hit the history button. This lets me view a list of previously scanned tags.
Multi-scan NFC switch button off.
Multi-scan NFC allows you to scan a batch of NFC tags and then view them in a list later on. If I swipe to the right again.
Read NFC button.
And that's for scanning NFC tags.
Tab bar selected. Read tab 1 of 2.
And then finally at the bottom of the screen we have the tab bar. So at the moment we're in read mode, but what I can do is if I swipe to the right.
Right tab 2 of 2.
Then I can go into write mode. So I want to read an NFC tag. So I'm going to tap on read NFC in the middle of the
Read
screen.
NFC button.
And then just
tap to
tap.
start scanning for NFC tags. Read NFC ready to scan. Ready to scan.
So now the ready to scan box appears. So I'm going to pick up the thing I want to scan, pick my phone up, and then the NFC reader is in the top right hand corner of the iPhone. So I'm just going to swipe my phone over.
Alert scan result. Place the back of the phone. Simply NFC scan result.
So now to read that, I just swipe one to the right.
Scrubs the complete collection Series 1 to 9 DVD, Media Cabinet, Shelf 2.
And that information is coming from the NFC tag.
Share button.
So I just swipe to the right 2 more times.
OK button.
And double tap on OK.
Read NFC button. Tap to start scanning for NFC tags. Read NFC.
So this box set has 9 series in it, and what I'd like to do is create an NFC tag to tell me which series I'm looking at. So I take a new NFC tag. Now on the iPhone I'm going to swipe right. I've currently got Read NFC selected. So I'm going to come down to the bottom right hand corner of the screen.
Tab bar, right, tab, 2 of 2.
And find the tab, the right button on the tab bar and double tap.
Selected, right, tab, 2 of 2.
Now if I come up to the top left hand corner of the screen.
Screen record settings button.
And I'm going to swipe to the right until I get to add record.
Simply NFC history, add write record button.
Now,
use this to add a record you wish to write to the tag.
Now I'm going to double tap.
Close button.
So now I'm going to swipe to the right until I get to add text record.
NDEF record selection. Basic records. Add text record. Write plain text button.
And I'm going to double tap.
Add record text heading.
And now I'll swipe to the right until I get to enter text.
Enter text. Ellipsis. Text field.
And then
Double tap to edit. Use the rotor to access misspelled words.
Then I'll double tap to edit enter me text.
Text field is editing. Character cap S. Cap S.
Now I'll come up to the top right hand corner of the phone to the add button.
Add button.
And I'll double tap.
Settings button.
And Scrub Series 1 has now appeared on the list of records to be written. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe to the right until VoiceOver says write tag.
Simply NFC history button. Add write record button. Clear all records button. Lock tag switch button. Write tag button.
Now
starts the NFC writing process.
Now I'm going to double tap.
And ready to scan.
And the ready to scan dialog box pops up. So now I'm going to hold my phone over the NFC tag. I get two little beeps.
Simply NFC write tag button.
And that confirms it's
starts
ready.
the NFC writing process.
So I can check that that's worked by coming down to the bottom of the screen to the tab bar and come down to the bottom left hand corner.
Tab bar, read, tab, 1 of 2.
Tap on read, double tap, then tap
read NFC button.
Read NFC.
Tap to start ready to scan.
I can hold my phone over the NFC tag.
Alert, scan result. Place the back of the phone near the Simply NFC, scan result.
And if I swipe to the right,
Scrubs Series 1.
It says Scrub Series 1. So now, I can take the stick here off the back of the tab, which is probably the hardest bit. Stick that on there. Pop that back in.
OK button. Read NFC button.
And if I double tap on Read NFC,
ready to scan.
Scan. So it's not actually picking up the NFC tag. And this does occasionally happen if you just scanned a tag and then you go to scan another one. So what you need to do is tap on Cancel
Simply NFC.
And then tap on Read NFC again.
Tap to start scanning for NFC tags. Read NFC. Ready to scan. Alert. Scan result. Place the back of the phone near the Simply NFC. Scan result. Scrubs Series 1. OK button.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up a Siri shortcut to automatically start Simply NFC and read a NFC tag. So I'm going to come up into the top left hand corner and select Settings.
Setting. Simply NFC. Back button.
Now I'm going to swipe to the right until I hear Process Content Automatically.
Settings. Hey, process content automatically. Switch button on.
Now I'm going to swipe up with 3 fingers.
Rows 10 to 17 of 21.
And I'm going to swipe to the right until I hear Add Single Scan Shortcut.
Default Home button. NFC Store. Edit. Purchase NFC Tags. Siri Shortcut. Add Single Scan Shortcut button.
Now I'm going to double tap.
Cancel button.
Now at the bottom of the screen there is a Record Phrase button.
Record Phrase button.
So I'm going to double tap on that. And then I'm going to say, Siri, read NFC tag.
Record Phrase button.
Read NFC.
Cap C. Inserted Read NFC image.
Now I tap on Done.
Done button. Add Single Scan Shortcut button.
Now I'm going to close Simply NFC.
App Switcher. Simply NFC. Active. Close Siri Suggestions. Widget. Facebook. 3 new items. Double tap to open.
Hey Siri. Read NFC.
Alert. Ready to scan. Ready to scan. Alert. Scan result. Place the back of the phone near the NFC. Scrubs Series 1.
If you don't wish to use VoiceOver, then one alternative is to use the speech screen selection feature. To activate this, go into Settings, then go into Accessibility, into Spoken Content, and make sure that Speech Selection and Speech Screen is both turned on. Now, when I go back into Simply NFC, I can scan my NFC tag. Now, if I tap on the little speech selection arrow, tap on the little pointy hand, and point at the what I want to read.
Scrubs Series 1.
I have done a more detailed video on the speech screen speech selection feature, and there's a link up to that in the description and at the end of this video. So what is an NFC tag? Well, the easiest way to think of an NFC tag is as a digital label. Basically, there's a tiny chip inside the NFC tag which stores the information. This chip doesn't need any power, it gets its power from the device that's reading it. And this information can be read by a compatible device such as a smartphone or a tablet, or some other type of NFC reader. There's a wide variety of applications for NFC tags that can be used for labelling food, that can be used for contactless payment, security, access, home automation. There's lots and lots of different things you can use them for. They're also available in lots of different shapes and sizes, so depending on what application you're using, you can probably find one that suits you. NFC 215, which is also referred to as NTAG 215, is a standard for NFC tags. These tags hold 504 bytes of data, which is about a paragraph, and data can be written to, deleted and read many times. However, if you're leaving your NFC tag in a public place, it is possible to lock them so that nobody can tamper with the tag once you've put it in place. The data is stored in plain text format, which means that any NFC compatible device can read it. So it doesn't matter whether you're using Android, Apple, or some format that's yet to be developed. And that means that they're compatible with a wide variety of devices. So now let's move on and look at some of the uses for NFC tags. So data on an NFC tag is stored in NDEF format, and this is the NFC data exchange format. And as long as the data is stored in this particular format, the device that's reading it knows what to do with it. So for example, you can use an NFC tag to send a SMS message, you can use it to call a telephone number, send an email, share contact details with another person, so for example using it like an electronic business card, using it to record location information, so it can open a map and show the location, opens a URL in a browser, works with home automation systems. Now let's have a look at some examples of NFC tags and alternative ways in which we can use them. So I've got here a pack of tablets and I'm going to scan them with Simply NFC.
Simply NFC, done, button.
Now on this particular packet, I've actually stored two types of information on this NFC tag. So if I swipe right to get to my
results, heading, furosemide 20 milligrams, 1 tablet to be taken daily in the morning, button.
I've got the instructions for taking the tablet, but then if I want to learn more about it, I can swipe right again,
https://www
and double tap.
Safari, browse more, button, list start, landmark, collapsed.
And I've stored a URL which takes me to the NHS website which has information about that medication. This NFC tag has location information on it. So again, if I tap on
Read NFC, button. Tap to scan, ready to scan.
And I scan the NFC tag.
Places visible, map, Newcar Road.
It now shows me the address that I've stored in the NFC tag. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel to find out when we create new videos. If you'd like to learn more about Sight Airedale, then please visit our website or join us on Facebook.